Butterfinger ice cream. Ice cream truck noises. Now, fair warning, this is not a normal Dead Dodge Garage video. Usually we'd be like working on a project or building an engine or dissecting an engine or whatever. But this has to do with something interesting that I've learned today. And it has to do with this project car, our 1969 Dodge Dart GTS from Mexico. I happen to be completely rewiring this car from head to toe, and I did a video about that subject a week or two ago. Incidentally, no one watched it. In that video, I explained that we were using M&H brand reproduction wiring harnesses. It turns out that's only partly true. We thought we were using M&H reproduction wiring harnesses. Well, at least one of them is. What I've learned really surprises me. It's dirty. We'll get into that in a minute. I gotta finish my ice cream first. If you don't know, I'm currently writing a book about classic Mopar electrical, so you might say I know a thing or two about the subject. I did not know the information that I'm going to share with you today. It's long been my understanding that there are only two companies making wiring harnesses for classic Mopars, M&H and Evans. And M&H, I thought, was the only company that made dash harnesses. It turns out that's not the case. I never want to be the sky is falling guy. I don't want to be super negative. I want to be happy. I want to bolt together classic Mopars, and I want to have fun while I do it. But in this instance, I've become privy to a piece of information that you should probably be aware of if you're going to try and restore one of these cars, and if you're going to buy new wiring for one. So that's what this video is about. Because our Dart GTS is from Mexico, it actually uses a special gauge cluster which was borrowed from the Barracuda. So to find the dash wiring harness we bought, I'm going to look up 1969 Barracuda dash wiring harness. I assure you this is not specific to this application though. A bunch of different things pop up. The very first one is Classic Industries, 1969 Plymouth, and it probably says Barracuda. Obviously, there are other things shown here in the featured products row. These are the wrong harness. This is, I don't know what. You can basically ignore all of these. The first and most important result is right here on Classic Industries, which in my experience is where people usually go to buy this sort of thing anyway. Here I've clicked on that link, which pulls up the requisite page on Classic Industries' website. The part number for this particular dash wiring harness is MA2313. Notice there is no brand name listed. It just has that part number and the application. If we scroll down, there's no brand name listed. If we go to specifications, that's all we get. So who makes this thing? Well, if you look at the picture right here, there is a little sticker that says M&H Electric. Here's the website for M&H Electric Fabricators. They happen to own the domain www.wiringharness.com, so you know they're pretty serious about stuff. These things are made in the USA, and having installed many of them over the years, I can tell you their stuff is really good. Maybe not perfect, but really good. Here I've navigated to the M&H listing for a 1969 Barracuda harness. There's no image on here. There are some details and a very important note at the top that says we do not sell any of our Mopar wiring harnesses directly. They must be ordered through our exclusive distributor Year One. Not Classic Industries, but we'll come back to that. Here's the listing over on Year One's website. Their part number is HU312A, and it happens to say arriving soon. There's also an option to notify me when available. So they don't currently have these. If they did have one, apparently it would cost $799, $50 more than the one over on Classic. Now, I do have to mention that there's no listing of who makes these harnesses on their website either. But they are the exclusive distributor for M&H, supposedly, and I promise you this is supposed to be a listing for an M&H harness. This does seem like a good time to say that Year One's website is kind of terrible. As I understand it, Year One contributed tooling or technology or parts or something to M&H to help get these harnesses into production, and as part of that deal, Year One got exclusive rights to distribute them. But you can, in some cases, buy M&H harnesses from other sources, like this engine harness in the Dart, which we got from Classic Industries. To be able to sell these harnesses, Classic and other vendors actually have to buy them from Year One. I assume they get some sort of wholesaler discount and then they're able to turn around and resell them at a profit. Probably not a big one, but I imagine for some place like Classic, it just makes sense to have this wiring available. But let's go back to this. Year One doesn't even have their exclusive wiring harnesses available to sell right now. So how do Classic Industries have these things in stock ready to ship? Well, it's an easy answer. They don't. This again is the listing for this wiring harness on Classic Industries. And this tag right here in this picture says M&H, but nothing else here does. If you buy this, What you're going to get in the mail is not an M&H reproduction wiring harness. It's something else. Remember that all-important Made in the USA tag. Our engine compartment wiring harness does have that. But on this dash harness, the main section of wiring, which Mark purchased for this car, this $800 reproduction restoration grade wiring harness, well, that sticker is conspicuously absent. As a matter of fact, there is no sticker on this dash harness whatsoever. There are no manufacturer's markings at all, except for this one. On this plug going into the kick panel for the rear wiring harness, we see a tiny little stamping that says OER. If you're not familiar with the OER brand, that is Classic Industries' in-house brand for reproduction parts. They sell all kinds of different things: switches, emblems, gaskets, radiators, etc. Apparently, they even sell some body panels like 69 Barracuda quarters. I didn't know that. OER sells lots and lots of stuff. We put various parts from them in the toolbox charger as we replace just about every component of that car with new stuff. And we have some things in OER boxes for this car too, like this turn signal switch, for example. In what's going to become a recurring theme here, there's no maker's mark or country of origin on this part either. I'll give you one guess what country this thing came from. All you really need to know about them is that they're not actually a company with a group of people hard at work manufacturing all of these different reproduction parts. It's just a brand name. They buy these things from wherever they can and resell them under that brand. Well, now this is interesting. This is actually an OER package that says Made in China on it. This happens to be a fan shroud we weren't able to use on the toolbox charger. This harness situation was brought to my attention by a gentleman named Ron. He told me that these are, in fact, made in China. And I believe it. Again, there is nothing anywhere that specifies where these harnesses are coming from. Doesn't that seem wrong? You know, I sold car parts for years, and every car part box would have a country of origin, whether it's China or Indonesia or the Philippines or whatever. It says on the box where it's from. Do they not have to do that? I guess not. I know, as I'm sure many of you do, that American manufacturing is not what it once was. And the vast majority of the stuff we use today comes from China. I know that a lot of people would rather buy American if they could, and also that they'd pay a premium to do so. I don't believe that every single piece made in China is total garbage or not worth using. I buy cheap junk like this all the time. But I know it's cheap junk, and I'm okay with that. This is an $800 wiring harness. And it's worse than that, because the picture seems to indicate this was made by an American brand. But when you buy it, that's not what you get. Why are these guys using M&H's pictures to sell their knockoffs? Doesn't that seem dirty? Maybe there's some plausible deniability here. Maybe it's a listing issue. I want to show you this. This is OER's website, which is very clearly just a copy of Classic Industries' website. That makes sense because, again, OER is not a real company. Here's the listing on Classic. Here's the listing on OER. Classic, OER. The only differences between these two sites is that OER says, find a dealer, while Classic has contact information for Classic. But even these buttons are the same. Since you can't buy anything on this site, how's that even make sense? Maybe this could be explained as some sort of error, a databasing glitch. They accidentally got the pictures for the M&H parts attached to these harnesses which have no brand name mysteriously. Allow me to introduce Exhibit B. This is an OER branded reverse wiring harness for a 67 or 8 Dodge or Plymouth. This one is actually sold as an OER part with an OER part number, and it has an M&H picture. It boggles the mind. It's a scam, right? Right? Anyone in this hobby who has bought wiring over the last, 15 years or something knows M&H. That is a premium American brand. And this company is using their pictures with their name clearly visible to sell their cheap knockoff junk. Whether it's actually from China or not, and I can't prove that, but I have suspicions, it's still just wrong. It actually gets one step weirder than that, too, because OER actually sells their harnesses to other suppliers like Jegs. Here we're looking at a 1970 Dodge B-body engine wiring harness on Jegs' website, and in this picture, which says OER, there's still an M&H sticker. We know OER buys things from other suppliers and then sells them under their brand, so maybe they could have done that with M&H harnesses. But then why would they have their own special harnesses with their brand name on some of the plugs? It just doesn't make sense. I'm going to give OER credit where it's due. Most of these wiring runs are actually correct. Some of the color codes are off, which I did find suspicious, but I chalked it up to, maybe they couldn't find the right color of wire that day. These colors would be correct on the M&H harness. Oh, also some plugs just fall off all the time for no reason. The fuse panel is correct. It even has the right Mopar marking and part number. All of that stuff looks okay. Most of this is fine. It's serviceable. It lines up where it needs to. The plug on the back of the cluster is terrible. Those pins are totally wrong. That plastic piece did not fit in the circuit board there, and I had to mess with this to get it to go at all. Now I need to pull that thing off because the dash lights aren't working on this side, and I'm terrified I'm going to find a broken pin, where previously all of the pins were perfect. If this cheap knockoff harness that we thought was an M&H but isn't leads to the destruction of a perfectly good original circuit board on the back of this valuable and rare rally cluster, well, I'm going to be upset, and it's not even my car or my money. We bought quality harnesses to make the electrical system in this car good. And as I've mentioned, I'm writing a book on Chrysler Electrical right now. I'm using this car as an example of how to do this job. We thought we were buying quality parts, the parts I would recommend you buy. That's not what we got. And that's not what you're going to get if you buy one of these harnesses. If this is all that's available today, fine. You can make it work. For that price, advertised as an American part, I'm not happy. And you shouldn't be either. It's really unfortunate that these harnesses aren't currently available from year one in M&H. I really hope that these become available again in the near future. I kind of need one. Maybe two, actually. What do we do about this? I have no idea. But I kind of hope someone from Classic sees this. I'll bet that knockoff Chinese harness costs considerably less to manufacture than the American one, yet it costs exactly the same. That's interesting. From where I'm sitting, this just looks like a dirty scam. Anyway, I guess that's all I have. If you're going to buy reproduction wiring for your Mopar, be careful, I guess. Let me know your thoughts on this debacle in the comments. Until next time, as ever, thanks for watching. And remember, just because it's new does not mean it's good. Now look what they did. All this cheap knockoff wiring nonsense made my dog sad.